I'm Teresa Ketron, the librarian here at Glenshire Elementary, and I want to read you a story today. I chose Very Little Red Riding Hood because it always makes kids laugh, and I thought it would be fun to laugh. It is written by Teresa Heapy and illustrated by Sue Heap. Here we go. Very Little Red Riding Hood was going to her grandmama's for a sleepover. "I go see Grandma with cakes," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "Yes, my love, I know," said her mummy. "Off you go. Be gentle with Grandma and don't break anything." "Bye-bye, my mummy," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. So Very Little Red Riding Hood set off to Grandmama's house. She hadn't gotten very far when she met a wolf. "Foxy," said Very Little Red Riding Hood, and she gave him a great big hug. "Aren't you scared?" asked the wolf. "I'm not scared. I Very Little Red Riding Hood, that's what I am," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "I go see Grandma with cakes," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "Oh, good," said the wolf. "Can I have one?" "No," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "No touch my cakes." The wolf tried again. "Can I come too?" "No," shouted Very Little Red Riding Hood. "Go away." The wolf tried once more. "Look at these lovely flowers," he said. "We could pick some for Grandmama." "No," screamed Very Little Red Riding Hood. "Not yellow flowers, red." So they picked some red flowers. "Come on, Foxy," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "We go this way. Chase me." So the wolf had to chase Very Little Red Riding Hood all the way to Grandmama's house. Very Little Red Riding Hood knocked on Grandma's door. "I come see you, Grandma." "Look, cakes," she said. "Well, it's lovely to see you, dear," said Grandmama, and then, "Help! There's a wolf on the doorstep." "I come for sleepover," said Very Little Red Riding Hood firmly. "I got my bag and red teddy, my cups and my blanket. Foxy, do you want a cup of tea?" "He can't come in," said Grandmama. "Oh, Grandma, it's only Foxy," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. So the wolf came in and took a cup of tea from Very Little Red Riding Hood. They all had tea, and then they played hide and seek, and they did dancing, and they did drawing, and then they had another cup of tea and another. The wolf and Grandma were getting very, very tired. But then Very Little Red Riding Hood remembered something, or somebody. "I don't know where is my mummy," said Very Little Red Riding Hood. "I want my mummy." Very Little Red Riding Hood was very upset. Grandma tried a story, and she tried a hug, and she tried red teddy. "Mr. Wolf, we're in trouble," she said. "Can you help?" So the wolf tried. "Oh, what big eyes you have," he said. "Oh, what a big snotty nose you have," he said. And then, "Oh, what a big red mouth you have," said the wolf. "And I'm going to give you a great big tickle." So the wolf tickled Very Little Red Riding Hood. He tickled her arms and her ribs and her toes. He tickled her chin and her ears and her nose. Very Little Red Riding Hood stopped crying. She laughed and she laughed and laughed. And then she fell asleep. And they all slept happily ever after. The end. I hope you liked it. I hope you guys have a wonderful summer. Keep reading and keep laughing. And thank you, Truckee Library, for all you do. Bye.